we are here at the Kenosha Velosport practice Criterium. This is going to be my first race this year. I'm pretty excited, a little bit nervous to see how it turns out, partly because of this crazy wind, but also because this is my first race of the year and it is a 1-2-3s race. So we'll see how that turns out. Hopefully I can put in some efforts. I believe the field's pretty small today, so we'll see. But yeah, I will see you guys in the race.
Alright guys, so here we are with the race. This was my first threes race, like I said, and this is my first 1-2-3 race as well. I didn't really know what to expect going into this race. I knew it was going to be fast, and I knew it was going to be pretty hard because, like I said in the intro, the wind was really fast. I think it was around 30-35 mile an hour winds. Right now in this straight here, we have a tailwind. But for the entire rest of the race, it was either crosswinds or headwinds. Yeah, it was an interesting race. You can see right here my teammate Simon behind me. He is a 2, and so basically my goal, my plan going into this race was just try and stick on his wheel or stick on some of the other wheels in the race that I knew. Some of the other guys I knew. I had raced or ridden with them before, and so I knew they were fast, I knew they were reliable. So that was really my goal there. You can see right there with the flag just how crazy the wind is getting, and we're still moving pretty well into this wind. Now this right here, after this left hand, all the way until the next left hand turn, we had pretty brutal headwinds and crosswinds. You can see the field kind of moves around. Nobody really knows where they want to go. And I end up getting stuck on the outside of the group here. And I really wanted to get on the inside, so I was trying to fight for some position, but you can kind of see there wasn't a whole lot of room. That's my buddy David. He's an awesome guy. I was super excited to get to race against him because he's an awesome rider and a really strong rider. And I really just wanted to see what I could do against him. We've kind of raced against each other before at our practice crits at Pella, so it was kind of interesting to actually get to do a real quote-unquote event against him. So this guy attacks. This is pretty early into the race here, and the pace starts to pick up quite a bit. Remember, this is the part of the course where we have a tailwind, so it's not really a great place to attack in the first place because it's going to be just as easy for that guy as it is for the rest of the group to get up to speed and to really put a decent effort in. I mean, you can see here we accelerate pretty darn quickly, and the watts aren't super crazy. I knew that attack wasn't going to stick. I knew that we were all just going to come together pretty soon around this corner, so I didn't really want to try anything. What I did want to start doing, and I kept reminding myself to do, was to just get on people's wheels so I was out of the wind and so that I could just stay in a draft, because I knew if I stuck my nose out in the wind for the whole race, there was no way that I was going to be able to keep the effort going. So right here, the pace picks up again, and there is an attack. 2 riders actually go off the front of the race right here, and those 2 guys actually stay off the front for the entire rest of the race. So you can see with the pace picking up that the group is getting pretty stretched out right here. My buddy David again trying to tuck in, and I do as well. I try and tuck in over here on the right hand side so I can get my nose out of the wind. And with how strung out the pack gets, I knew that I didn't want to be in the back here. I wanted to be up towards the front where I could get on the faster guys' wheels and be able to not have to get super strung out and start suffering from that accordion effect. So I kind of make it my mission here to start to bridge up from wheel to wheel. Right here I'm on the outside and I really want to be on the inside, so you'll see I'll move to the inside of this guy here so I can move up through the wind, and the group ends up coming back together again right as we get towards the top of this. It's a slight gradient, it's not too bad, but again, I really just didn't want to get dropped. I really wanted to get up to that group up there. So my goal again was to try and bridge these small gaps one by one, keep my nose out of the wind, and eventually I get up to David up there right around this corner, and as I'm coming up to David, he lets me know that, we don't have to push it too hard because that group is not far enough off the front where they're going to get away from us. And as soon as we come around the next left-hand corner, that they're actually going to slow down a bit, and we can kind of catch on to them using the tailwind, which right here you can kind of see my heart rate is 197, 198. So I was really not even thinking about that. I really just in my head was telling myself, get on the wheels, get on the wheels, get on the wheels. And he had the peace of mind to tell me, don't worry about it. We'll catch them. We'll use the tailwind. It'll help us out. So that really helped me out. And you can kind of see he comes around me here in just a second. And when he does, there's a slight surge in the group. And what ends up happening is there's a little bit of gap that opens up between my wheel and his. And I was hurting right here. I thought about, just falling back to those guys that I had bridged away from already and just trying to work with them. But you can kind of see I'm still putting in an effort trying to get back up there. I know right here is where I want to do it, if I'm going to do it at all. So I'm really, really trying to get back into that group. And I do manage to get pretty close. And again, you can see my heart rate's at 199. I think we hit 200 here in just a tick. And I slowed down a little bit too much through this corner. Really shouldn't have. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just tired, not thinking straight. And you can see a huge, huge gap opens up. And now I'm in a crosswind with a little bit of a headwind. So I have to work extra hard to get back up to them. And I know that if I stay here, I'm just dead. I'm gonna get dropped out of the race, and I'll end up getting, a DNF or one of the last places. So I put in a really, really strong effort, and I was lucky enough that these guys slowed down just a bit as they come to this corner, and it was allowed me to catch back onto the back of their group. And that's something to always think about when you are racing, is if you can just hold on for that 1 second more, that couple seconds more, you're probably going to be able to get back onto the group. Everybody is hurting just as much as you, remember. I mean, unless you're just in terrible shape like I was when we did this race last year. So the same rider that attacked earlier attacks again from this small little group. And he's quickly chased down, and nothing really comes of it. So everybody kind of slows down, regains their breath. And you can see my teammate up there, Simon, in the intent kit. He took a podium finish in one of his races earlier this day, so I figured that he was pretty gassed. So I wanted to either work for him or just try and stick on his wheel as long as I could. And so we come into this headwind, and the guy who attacked was going to pull off in just a second. And then Simon's stuck on the front. And this rider right here in front of me is going to keep Simon out front there, which, I mean, it's a good racing tactic. It's something you want to do. You don't want to stick your nose out in the wind if you don't have to. And you can see Simon kind of moves all the way to the left of the road and then all the way back to the right of the road, trying to get this guy to pull through, because Simon really wanted to bridge up to those two guys that were up the road. And the guy doesn't pull through, which you can't blame him. You don't want to waste a bunch of energy doing work that you don't have to. So he was totally right in not taking that pull into the wind. Finally, Simon gets to pull off. This guy starts to take his pull. He's still in the wind a little bit, but it was much less on this stretch of the road than it was on that stretch we were just on. So I was being a little petty here, and I think in my head, well, if that guy's not going to pull, I'm just going to stick him on the front. And I left him on the front for about a whole half a lap before some other people pulled around. And you can see right there Simon is on the front again, and he actually does something kind of odd, which you don't usually see a whole lot of, and he just attacks straight off the front of the group. And again, that guy who didn't want to pull through goes with him, and the rest of these guys are kind of stuck looking around, and I'm in this group with them, and they don't know if they should chase that or if not. And David here starts to chase it down a little bit, but it's just a little too hard, and they do end up getting a little bit of a gap. And at this point, it becomes my job to try and slow this group down so that Simon can try and get a podium finish. So there's those two guys, Simon and the other guy up the road, and then the two guys in front of them. So total of 4 guys up the road ahead of the group that I'm in. So I know that Simon has a pretty decent chance of getting at least a 3rd place right now. And so I wanted to try and help him do that, so I needed to stop this group from chasing. And I didn't realize that right away. You'll kind of see that my effort level is still with the rest of the group, and as we come onto the finishing straight, again, we're still going pretty strong. But finally I do realize, like, hey, I need to work for Simon. I need to not let this group chase him. So I start monitoring my effort for the rest of the race and kind of keeping it where I know that he's going to be able to pull away from our group, while at the same time it's not totally obvious to these guys in this group that I'm just, blocking them from getting up to Simon and the guy who broke away with him. So these guys pull through here, and I'm totally happy to just sit in. We do end up dropping one rider. I believe he catches back on. But what ends up happening here is I am trying to just, recover as much as I can. Again, this race was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, and it was mostly because of the wind. So you can see that these two riders in front of me, David and this other guy, really want to catch on to Simon and his attacking partner. But I really just wasn't going to help them do that because I'm not going to chase my own teammate down. It's just not something you want to do. So a couple laps later, we do end up reeling in just the guy who went with Simon. Simon dropped him. I don't know what happened. I don't know if Simon just pushed the pace and he couldn't keep going. So we reel him back in, and so now we have a group of 4 total, including me. And I kind of figured that this is where my place is going to come from. So there's 3 guys up the road. That's the podium, obviously. So the best I can race for is 4th today, which I was not completely disappointed with, given that this was my first Cat 3 race, and that this was, again, a 1, 2, 3s race. So I was kind of excited. I was looking forward to, getting top 10, maybe top 5. So I just kind of figured, all right, check these guys out, do what you can. Don't stick your nose out in the wind again too much. I knew David. I knew he's a smart rider, so he kind of became the guy that I kept my eye on and kept focusing on, so I could just, follow him if he went, stay with him, and just kind of try and do what I could for the rest of the race here. So in just a second here, we're going to come into the last lap. I do get stuck on the front of the group right here of these 4 guys for the last lap. So I end up playing the game with them. It was my thought that if I could slow down enough to get one of them to pull in front of me, then I could use one of their wheels to get a pretty decent jump. We did pick up some lapped riders. This guy right here on my right is a lapped rider, and then you'll see one other rider in a gray and red kit who is also lapped. But they kind of join in our group, and again, I get stuck on the front, which is not ideal. You don't want to be on the front for the last lap. Ideally, your 2nd or 3rd wheel, so you, again, can get a good jump out of the saddle and get a good draft as you start your sprint. But that's not what happened for me. So I'm going to go ahead and toss on some music for this last lap. I hope you guys enjoyed the race, and I'm out.
now she ASAP. Bino so insensitive, she asking why you say that. I'm chillin', real nigga feelin'. Rich kid asshole, paint me as a villain. Still spittin' that cash flow. DJ Khaled, I got penthouse on both coasts. PH balance, real nigga I rep those. Why though? Cause I said so. Get deep in that Pepto. I got 5 on it like Benfos. I got more tail than that Petco. You faker than some sweet and low. Yeah, you got some silverware, but really, are you eating though? Are you eating though? Nigga, are you eating though? Breakfast, lunch, and dinners, for beginners, you ain't even know. Never catching cases, why they faces look so EMO. Watch a hater hate me, wanna play me like a piano. My architect, no Japanese. Yo girl, she Japanese. No hands like Socrates. Y'all fuck boys like Socrates. You niggas ain't popping these. Niggas ain't looking like me. Nah, I ain't checking ID, but I bounce them with no problem. Tell them, bro. I'm winning, yeah, I'm winning. Why? I'm winning, yeah, I'm winning. Why? I'm winning, yeah, I'm winning. Rich kid asshole, paint me as a villain. Don't be mad cause I'm doing me better than you doing you. Don't be mad cause I'm doing me better than you doing you. Don't be mad cause I'm doing me better than you doing you. Better than you doing you. You're fucking with you. Different color my passport. Instagram my stack load. Hashtag my day wear. Your girl drank my daycare and I'm born rich. Life ain't fair. Still the spoiled ho. Ain't nobody sicker in my Fisker. Room ho. Ain't nobody. Fiskers don't make noise when they start up. Just so you know. Top of the holy totem. Rich forever, a million was not the quota. My father owned half the MoMA and did it with no diploma. Year off, got no rules. Tripping off of them toadstools. More green than my Whole Foods, and I'm too fly. Jeff Goldblum got a glass house and a Palisades. That AKA white hood, okay. Furniture custom, you shop at IKEA. So Maserati, you whipping the Kia. Spending this money is longer than near. Live like a Coppola, me and Sophia. Waking up broke, man, wouldn't wanna be a friends with the dope man, help a nigga real. Bring a girlfriend, man, trouble when I see her. I don't wanna be a, oh, I got my cool on. I'm winning, so they had to dunk that Gatorade. Now I don't give a fuck about my family name. Why? Don't be mad cause I'm doing me better than you doing you. Don't be mad cause I'm doing me better than you doing you. Don't be mad cause I'm doing me better than you doing you. Better than you doing you. You're fucking what you want.
How's it going, guys? We just got done with the 1-2-3 race. It was windy as hell. It sucked. I think our average was like 21 point something, but with the wind, it was so brutal. I wanted to quit a couple times, but I just kept going and ended up getting a medal. It's not a podium, it's not a 1-2-3, but it's a 5th place. So you guys will see more in the video. You probably saw more actually, since this is probably going to be at the end. But yeah, it was a good time. I'm excited for the season. I still have a little bit of work to do, but overall I feel pretty good. We have another race next weekend at Super Crit, so hopefully I can keep this going because I had a really good time today. I felt relatively okay. Yeah, hope you guys liked the video, and I'll see you next time.